Welcome, everybody, to Pinfalls and Passports. For those who don't already know, this is a podcast for people just like you, those who love the sport of professional wrestling, and for our members of our WWE Travel Community Discord server. If you're not a member yet, come join one of the fastest growing pro wrestling communities online. You can find our invite link here in the podcast bio, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Pinfalls and Passports, on X at Pinfalls and Pass, and on TikTok at pinfalls_passports. And don't forget to follow and subscribe to this podcast to keep up to date with all the things involving the world of professional wrestling. My name is Mira. This is Pinfalls and Passports. And joining me on this lovely episode is Dork Chop. How are you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good, still recovering nicely from the pickleback shots.
That was a good time, but
That was definitely a great time.
it was.
Tupac bobblehead night at Camden Yards, baby.
Like, the game was great. Vibes were immaculate. We've seen a few server members. We've seen Kelly. We've seen her friend Carlos. And we also seen Wayne. But it was such a good time there. But tonight we are discussing AEW. They are on their road to their next pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, which will be happening May 24th. So next weekend. Yeah, so next weekend. So we'll be talking about what occurred at Fairway to Hell this past weekend and also on this week's past Dynamite. First and foremost, AEW Fairway to Hell at the SoFi Center at Palm Beach Gardens. The arena, at first, I wasn't too sure about it, but watching that 1 hour special live, AEW used that venue how it should have been used. The aesthetics of it all. It was, to me, it was a great show.
Yeah, I liked it too, and I liked the way they made use of the whole space and not just
Mhm.
the ring. Especially as we'll get into later during the Darby and Pac match, where they just threw each other in the bunker multiple times and all kinds of great stuff like that. Using the whole environment to incorporate it into the match was really fun.
No, I definitely agree, and we'll hop into that because that was a slobber knocker, as JR would say. But we kicked off the show with a great match. It was for the AEW National Championship. It was Mark Davis with Don Callis versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Oh my gosh. They really went back and forth. You had the size, the disadvantage on Perry's end, especially with the big boy Mark Davis there. But, Perry was really fast. He was using his striking early. He did have a lot of momentum at the start of the match, but then Davis honestly took over with his chops and the lariats and just his powerful offense. So I enjoyed that match a lot. You had near falls between the two men, and from this, we have a new AEW national champion.
Yeah, I kind of figured that once they booked a rematch between these two, it was going to be academic that Jack was going to lose. Um, you really don't want to bury Mark Davis here. You want to keep him hot. He's been performing very well of late, and he's just too powerful and for me to believe that Jack can beat him twice. Then again, we've seen other examples of that in other promotions. But it was good to see Mark get the win, even if it took a 6 iron from Ricochet to get it done.
That's right.
But that also led into Jack Perry throwing down the gauntlet that the Elite would be joining the team of Jericho and the Hurt Syndicate for Stadium Stampede.
No, that match is going to be a clusterfuck in my opinion. When the first Stadium Stampede happened, it was crazy. So you're just adding all these men together. I'm really excited to see this get panned out. I think it'll be a good way to showcase a lot of talent, and get them on the card as well. You got your oldies but goodies. You have your new and up and coming professional wrestlers as well, all in the mix. So I think Stadium Stampede is going to be a clusterfuck, but it's going to be fun.
It's going to be beautiful chaos. That's what it's going to be. It's going to
Mhm.
be a lot of fun to watch, and probably will sell the pay-per-view by itself.
I believe so. And then following that, we had a vignette of Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne, they're super excited about this, but he's heading to New Japan Pro Wrestling for the Best of the Super Juniors for the second time. And he intends on, becoming a winner of that. And I believe Will Ospreay is a two-time winner. Ricochet is also a past winner as well. So I am extremely excited to see how he bodes in that. I think he's been one of those talents. I've seen him in the indies since like getting into the indies more back in like 2021. I've seen him a whole bunch of times and he's amazing. He's an amazing talent and I'm glad AEW did sign him. And he's been able to develop on his craft and everything. So wishing him the best and hopefully he can come out as a winner because if you come out as a winner there, your stock boosts. Your stock boosts.
Yeah, exactly. It's a career launching pad for a lot of people, and you look at the names of them that you just dropped: Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Both of those men use the Super Juniors Championship to jump to new heights in their careers. Where it takes Nick Wayne from here will remain to be seen if he does indeed do the deed. But yeah, excited to see if he can do it.
And then we got the word. Renee Paquette announced that Billy Goat Osprey has been medically cleared and would be returning to action on the following Dynamite against Thick Thighs in AEW, Ace Austin.
You
You
caught me
know, I
off
had.
guard with that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean it's an impressive run for Ace Austin of the names that he's been put in the ring with. He's really been bringing the goods lately.
The thing is, like, I've seen him in New Japan and TNA and on the Indies, and I'm like, I know he can be a singles winner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know he can be a singles champion. It's only like a matter of time. So him having these bouts with the names of like a Will Ospreay is great. I know he had a match with who was it the week prior? Dang, what can I think? I want to say was it Speedball? No, but I know he has faced Speedball.
Yeah, he's faced Speedball before, but no, last week it's eluding me too. But it's
I'm
a
like, why can't I think of this person's name? But anyways, he's been killing it lately, and I'm glad
yes, he
he's
has.
getting singles competitors like opportunities because I know he's in his faction of the Bang Bang Gang. So I'm glad to see like him being able to like showcase all of his talents. And we'll get into the match with him and Osprey, but they put on a clinic, in my opinion.
Yes,
That
they
was
did.
they put on a clinic. So that was that. And then Divine Dominion
Speaking of
in their
clinics,
5-minute challenge. The team of Megan Bain and Lena Cross versus Ruthie Slay and Rachel Lee or Lay. And this was the debut of their 5-minute challenge, I believe. And if any team survives 5 minutes with them, they earn a future women's tag team title shot. And unfortunately, Ruthie and Rachel could not put up the 5 minutes.
spoiler alert.
And yeah, and Divine Dominion finished with nearly 2 minutes and 43 seconds left on the clock. So,
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, Megan
yeah.
and Lena, they did not let these two girls get any action in, any offense at all. And it just like they look like sharks toying with their food.
Of course, I feel like that's just what they're being built up for. I wonder if they're gonna have a title match at Double or Nothing. I don't know at this point. If it is, it'll probably be on a 0 hour, and I wish it wasn't. Because even their other match at Dynasty was a banger in at just 0 hour. I feel like that match should have been on the main card. But we'll see what happens there. And then we had a standby match. And I love that they do standby matches. It was Speedball, Mike Bailey versus Karrion Gray. And this was just a quick showcase win for Bailey. And afterwards, the TNT champion, Kevin Knight, comes out, cuts a babyface promo, and declaring that they're going to go to the top together. And I'm like, is this like the red herring type of thing? Because something similar happens where Speedball does it on that following Dynamite as well. And we'll like, get into that. But I'm like, I wonder what this is going to be. And I think honestly, if Kevin
One's
Knight
going
holds,
heel.
I really think so. I think if anything, well, it can happen. But if anything, my thought was that if Kevin Knight holds that belt until at least All In, it might be Kevin Knight versus Speedball for it. And I would love that because they're gonna put on a clinic. You know, talk about a clinic. Give me 60 minutes with them. They're gonna go.
I
But
don't know
you
about
know,
60, maybe 16.
it's AEW. What you mean? It might be 60.
Fair enough. Yeah,
So
and then we had an unfortunate announcement from Don Callis that Takeshita would be taking the place of Okada on Dynamite. Apparently, Okada had some family business to attend to, but it's not like Takeshita is a slouch. So, Darby still had his work cut out for him, regardless of who he was defending against.
Darby just got his cut. He just got his work cut out for him, period. Because he just like, whoever wants a title shot, you're gonna get it. And I'm like, okay, how about we take a break, take a week off? How about we just sit
No,
back and relax? But no, he's in it. And speaking of Mr. Darby Allen, our main event at Fairway to Hell was for the AEW Men's World Championship, no count out match. Darby Allen versus Pac. What did you think of this?
my goodness. Okay, thoughts. Yeah, like I said, I love the way they used the bunker right off the mat. Pac and Darby really made great use of the surroundings. Then, of course, the Death Riders came out and played Legos with tables, stacking tables up, and I was like, oh, this means Darby's going through all of those tables.
Yup.
And then Darby eventually, I mean, he does go through all those tables, all four of
Well,
them.
2.
That's right. Yeah, he only
Yeah.
he only broke two of them.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Um, but he goes through them, and it's like every week, I have to sit there and wonder myself, so is somebody going to save this man from himself? Because Darby is going out there burning the candle at both ends, giving us crazy, like, kamikaze type title defenses twice a week. And it's incredible to watch in the moment, but you just have to feel for him because, I mean, I don't know if he's numb to the pain or he has a high tolerance for it, but he really puts himself through a lot in these matches. And Saturday at Fairway to Hell was a great example of that with the table spots, with the tombstone on the steps. You're just sitting here like I'm sitting here thinking about all these spots that they got in, and I'm just like, wow. And the
That
fact
was
that
a
he
15-foot
retained,
fall. That was a 15-foot fall too.
yeah, exactly. And on top of that, he retained, it's which incredible on its own. I mean, how does he have the energy to even? Yeah, I'm gonna do this again during the Dynamite recap because it's incredible that Darby keeps putting on these bangers, but also getting up and walking away from them.
Yeah, because he's walking away. Like he's not like limping, he's not getting taken out. So I mean, hey, he's got it. What I did respect, because I don't think the Death Riders interfered physically with Darby, if I'm not
Nope.
mistaken. They just set up the tables, which I'm like, okay, I like this. I like this side of them. They're like, we can have restraint. We can let this still be a clean match. We're just helping him set up a crazy
Yeah.
spot, because I think they thought that would be what would get him. And indeed, that drop did not get Darby.
No, no, he's indestructible. That's the only thing I can come up with is that Darby Allin is indestructible.
Yep.
He's like a modern day Mick Foley. I've said this before. I think it was Mick Foley meets how did I say it? But yeah, a lot of Mick Foley energy.
I want to say you said Sting, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
because but it was kind of funny because like the Death Riders may have not interfered physically, like harming Darby, but they tried to do things to distract either the ref or to distract him and stuff. And lo and behold, and below, Pac tried to use that world title as a weapon. Darby countered with a low blow. Smash Talk and Smash Pac with the actual title instead had a coffin drop later. Just one here. And as you said, he retained. And it's like, this is crazy incredible, because you would think if anyone could beat Darby, would be Pac or Pac.
yeah. I would have thought that Pac, especially given their history, Pac had out of three times. It's crazy that he was able to retain.
Yep. Yep. But that did it for Fairway to Hell. And then we are moving on to this past week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Um,
Inamite.
I think this was a really good show. We are 11 days, like having it air, we were 11 days away from Double or Nothing. And the opening segment is MJS and in this hair
Yeah,
situation.
walking past all the baldies.
Yep, just, he's just like scared, And I like that comical aspect of it, but it's like, okay, although people may not like the hair, stipulation, like not everyone's on board with it. It makes sense because again, MJF's character is very vain, is very into himself, you know, is all about his presentation. He's always about being the best and looking the best and all that. So I mean, I liked how they had this set up for him, but we shall see. And then it moved
Yeah.
on to MJF's plan. He's trying to pretty much, get to say like, I'm not going bald, and says like, Taketsu, you're going to get this done tonight. You're going to do what you have to do. And then me or you are going to face off. And I think one of the server members said like that what he said in Japanese was, you stupid bastard, I'm going to kill you. Something like that. It's something like he's going to beat him up. He
I
gave
had a
Don
feeling that's what he
Callis,
said.
yeah, he gave Don Callis his dynamite diamond ring, telling him Takeshita has to win tonight.
Yeah.
And Andrade shows up, and this is the funniest part of this whole segment. He takes off his hat and he just waves his luscious, luxurious hair all in MJF's face. And I'm just cackling because I'm like, this is real. Because I feel like Andrade has such a great run so far since his return, and this is like the best we've seen him. This is the most personality we've seen from him. It's great. And then his slogan, how you know, like this you can't make this shit up. Like he's actually very funny. And then Andrade tells Don Callis that he has to be next for that title shot. So
Say,
some
you'll
ways,
say.
yeah, like so somehow, some way, Andrade is going to be facing someone for that belt, whoever has it soon.
Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling that he is going to be MJF's first challenger whenever MJF inevitably wins the belt back.
Yeah,
But
but
10-man tag was quite fun to watch.
that was Baldy's versus Hair too. That was Baldy's versus Hair, low key, because you had FTR, you had Tommaso, you had Balds in the match, and then so you had some Balds, I guess you would say, like some Bald folks in the match then. But that was a
Yeah.
fun little tag. That was a fun tag.
Yeah, it was. I especially like the spot where Adam Copeland, I have to really concentrate and say that. Adam had, I think it was Clark Connors, set up for execution, or whatever they're calling it in AEW now. And then the other four members of the team would do splashes and from each corner. It was pretty cool. Fun match. I especially love, there's just so many great little comedy bits in there too, like when Orange and Christian are doing the hands in the pockets. And of course the frenetic energy of the Jacksons from the Young Bucks are just all over the place, like little speedballs, pun not intended. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. And then of course the best part for me was watching the Young Bucks and Adam Copeland try to do a triple kick together, and Edge couldn't get his leg up high enough, but he gave him quite the spear.
Yes, yeah, I do. Yeah, that was a good spot. I like that one. I like that.
Yeah, but great match, fun to watch,
Good
builds hype.
guys win. Yep, and the good guys win. Honestly, so can't
Yeah,
expect nothing more.
and
And then
then I'm sorry.
no, you got it. You got it. You got it. Go ahead.
So then we get another Will Ospreay training with the Death Riders vignette. Our friend the Billy Goat is upside down, suspended from his, essentially just using his neck to hold his whole body weight up. And then he and Moxley have this heart-to-heart talk about, how far where they've come from, and how like everything's gotten a little more complicated, but you got to be free as a bird.
And I think like seeing how Moxley has been treating Osprey post everything that they've been through. I think that's ultimately what Moxley wanted from someone in the AEW roster. He's like, I can't be the only like dog here. We need people that are willing to train, willing to be the best versions of themselves. And I feel like he sees some of himself in Ospreay with this training and stuff, trying to get to the best version. And I think that Will Ospreay will ultimately be a world champion this year. I don't know when, but I think he will be a world champion this year.
And then
Following that, what do we have next?
we had the completion of the Stadium Stampede teams.
Oh, yeah, but right before we had Orange Cassidy saying that it would be him and Roderick challenging for the tag titles.
Right.
And then O'Reilly called out John Moxley for the AEW Continental Championship match. So that's going back to their 2025 feud,
Right.
you know. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, I don't know when Kyle and John Moxley will be occurring. I'm hoping that's Double or Nothing, honestly. I think
I
that would be a
mean,
good match.
Kyle's got a legit claim to the Continental Championship, having tapped out John Moxley twice.
Yup.
So yeah, put him in line for put him as the next in line for the belt. Let's see these two cook. Kyle O'Reilly is always going to give you a great match. John Moxley also. So yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, and then as you were saying, the Stadium Stampede.
Yeah, the teams are complete.
Mhm.
So we've got Ricochet, Mark Davis, the Gates of Agony shown backstage when Andrade walks in to join the team. And then the dogs complete the roster for the bad guys.
It's going to
So,
be insane.
yeah, the dogs, the Don Callis family, and the Gates of Agony against Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, and the Elite. That's, yeah. There's all kinds of creativity going on there, probably all kinds of shenanigans. It's going to be entertaining, to say the least, though, just given who's involved, bald. And of course, just the Stadium Stampede stipulation as well is just going to be excellently used. I can't wait to see the whole thing unfold. And yeah, I mean, bring on Double or Nothing, pretty much, man.
I I wish I was going. I made my final decision. I'm not going. I just want to relax, honestly. But I know that show's going to be a banger. I know it's going to be a banger.
Yeah,
It,
I do
mm.
as well. I mean, that's going to be a great match, and I can't wait for it.
And then following that segment, we had Speedball Mike Bailey versus Westbrook, and that was like a quick squash match. Again, I think we're just trying to build up a Speedball because he's such an amazing talent, and that's
Yes.
the thing. You don't want to miss not having him on TV. So it's best to have him showcased a lot, especially with his tag partner Kevin Knight being that TNT champion. So I foresee big things for him. And even following his match, he declared that he wants next at Darby Allin's championship.
Pick a number. I mean, who doesn't have a championship match lined up against Darby Allin at this point?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
we've got one more Dynamite, one more Collision before Double or Nothing.
mhm.
So, get your licks in.
Then this is what I was waiting for. They revealed the Owen Hart tournament brackets for the men and the women. And the men's gonna have Samoa Joe versus Will Ospreay, and this will be at Double or Nothing. You'll also
Hmm.
have Swerve Strickland versus Bandito at Double or Nothing. And then you also have Mark Davis versus Jack Perry. And you have Claudio Castagnoli versus Brody King. That is in your men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament. So I am excited for this. I think I see the vision here. Again, I think that Samoa and Will match is going to bang because you had Samoa like, hey, aren't you going to join the ops? And, you know, Will has been training with the Death Rider. So there's that tension between and all that stuff there. So all that's going to come to head, I feel like, at Double or Nothing between Samoa and Will.
I
Any early
think,
predictions for the men's bracket?
well, I think honestly, obviously Joe and Will are going to cook. It's a shame they're blowing this match off in the first round. I see the rivalry going further than that, so I do not see Will Ospreay winning the Owen Hart Classic. I could be wrong, Yeah, I think he beats Samoa Joe, but then Samoa Joe costs him later on in the tournament. Whether that's
That is
the
very possible.
whether it's the semifinal or the final. And just looking at these, uh, another Mark Davis versus Jack Perry match. Did
I think well they just verse each other, but I think in that case, I think you would want your national champion to win there, in my opinion, or I mean, you should. So I feel like it would be Mark Davis versus Will Ospreay, which he was in United Empire with them. So I mean, hey,
yeah, and the finals will be at Forbidden Door in San Jose in June, and also Claudio and Brody King. How does Big E put it? Big beefy boys slapping meat. It's gonna be
yeah.
a fight, just a big old hoss fight, and I am here for it. Let's
I
go.
like predictions for who's going to be in the finals. It's Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay.
Yeah, and then somehow Joe um costs Will Ospreay the Owen Hart Cup.
I'm
So
like, mm.
and then we have the ladies bracket. Talk to me on this one there, Mira.
So I'm a little underwhelmed, but that's fine. You have. Let me go
Is it
look
the
at the.
absence of a certain CEO that's
Yeah,
bothering you?
yeah. It's really getting me because I'm like, when this lady coming back? But you have Persephone versus Hazuki. Now Persephone is currently injured. The plan that was actually supposed to be. So we'll get in there, but it was supposed to be Persephone versus Hazuki at Double or Nothing. This is what Tony Khan said today at the ROH pay per view media call. But with Persephone being out, that match will be later. And I'm like, okay. And then we have Mina Shirakawa versus Athena. We have Willow Nightingale versus Alex Windsor. That match will be at Double or Nothing. And then Sky Blue versus I can't
Sari.
what'd you say? Sorry.
Yeah, Sari.
Yeah. So it'll be Sky Blue versus Suri, and Suri is gonna. Austin, don't listen to this. Suri is gonna kill Sky Blue when this match happens. So I don't expect Sky Blue to go far here. My
And earmuffs.
predictions My prediction for the women's bracket is very up in the air because I don't know how injured Persephone is or Sari. Now Sari is back in Japan. Doctor's orders for a month working on her body. I believe it's her neck, if I'm not mistaken. But she said she will be back. So her injury can't be as bad. It's just I think maybe precautionary. But Persephone, when I see her name, I'm like, but isn't she injured? So I don't know how severe this injury is, but we'll see. I think. Mhm.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to pull a bait and switch on us. Yeah, Persephone
Potentially.
can't go, and so here's Mercedes.
That's what Peeps is saying in the channel. Me and Peg are pretty much for it. I said, well, we'll wait and see, but I don't know. Like, I just don't know how injured she is. But
Yes.
even if it is Miss Mercedes, she did have a match with Hazuki in the past in New Japan, so it would be a little repeat of that. I think Athena beats Mina clean. I think Suri beats Sky Blue clean, and I'm kind of up in the air between Willow and Alex Windsor. Willow won the Owen Hart back in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, and she didn't win, that title then. So I'm like, will they give it to Willow? But I'm like, with husband and wife being in the tournament, my mind went to, okay, so you want Will Ospreay and Alex Windsor to win this, and then they go to Wembley and they win the belts there. That's where my mind went to. But but there's an ROH pay per view tomorrow, and I think Athena is due to be on the main scene of AEW. In my opinion, she's held the belt for 1,252 days, or will be 52 days tomorrow, I believe. So if she does drop that belt, I can see her being a strong contender for this Owen Hart tournament. I think she would be a great champion. Her and Thekla have history in stardom. So I could also see that occurring. Um, I could see the Alex Windsor bit. I can even see them throwing a 360. It's Suri, honestly. So they can just be like, fuck it. Here you go, Suri.
You just mentioned Athena and Thekla, and I'm just sitting here like, please, please.
And about Miss Monet, I don't know what the plan is for her. She said back in March she'll be home soon. Well, babe, did you mean your house? Did you mean a ring? What did you mean? So I
It
don't
is
know.
mid-May, for fuck's sake.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I don't know if she returns, next weekend. I don't know if she returns at the pay-per-view or the special redemption. I know that AEW is going to Boston in July. Maybe they're running something with her and Willow, or something else I thought of, because typically at All In they do the Casino Gauntlet, and the person that wins. Basically, it's AEW's version of Money in the Bank, in my in my opinion. That's the easiest way to explain it for those who don't watch
Yeah.
regularly. But maybe she returns and wins that there, and that she cashes that in when she's ready to. And per Tony Khan, you have to cash it in. I think you have to give your opponent a week advance, so it's not like Money Bank cash in when you can do it anytime, anywhere type of thing. But
Right.
there's a few ideas I have for her, but we'll see how that goes from there. Because the last we seen her was New Year's Eve, when Willow won back the TBS title. And then she had her vignette saying, "Y'all gonna miss me." And yeah, you was right, lady. We really do, because her presence is like great when she's there. I feel like she just wasn't as appreciated by the fans when she was, because she was just more seen as, a heel, and she was collecting all these titles and stuff. So we'll see. I'm hoping that she is at Wembley, because she'll put on a great match. Again, even if she won the Casino Gauntlet, like if they do it at an earlier pay-per-view or something and she cashed it in for All In, I would be so excited. Man, I would be
Yeah.
man, I would be so excited for that. But we'll see what happens with Miss Monet. Her absence is missed, I will say that. And then
Jack
at that
Perry cut a
yeah.
promo saying that Mark Davis only beat him because of a golf club to the back,
Oh,
and told
yeah.
told Davis to
That's
bring
right.
any weapon he wants to Stadium Stampede. And then after that, he's going back to his roots, and he's going to focus on winning the Owen Hart Foundation tournament,
Sure.
which, you know,
Sure.
sure you are, pal. Yeah, good for you, pal.
He,
Little
he
pat on
might
the
he,
head.
he might surprise us all. Who knows? But I truly think his focus will probably be that championship and Mark Davis for the summertime. But we'll
Mm-hmm.
see.
Yeah.
So, yo, his abs got abs.
Seriously, holy shit.
What,
That man is
he's like a 10 pack.
jacked.
He's like what, like a 10 pack. He looks really good. He was moving good.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad that he's back. He's healthy. So hey, see what we can cook up. Honestly, with him, I think the sky's is the limit, especially if he's booked right. I believe he's with the Don Callis family, so you know how that goes.
Yeah. Who isn't?
That's true. Knight survived once again. He secured the victory with the UFO splash off the top rope, and he is still our TNT champion. He's a fighting champion, so I like him. I like him a lot. I like
I
how
do
they're
too.
I like how they're pushing him. Like, I feel like the only other person they pushed like that was like a Will Ospreay or like a Swerve. So I like that.
See, now the only objection I have to the way he's being pushed is the open challenge. I think is the open challenge in 2026 is overused.
And
I mean,
also,
between
Willow's not
between
even using it.
companies.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, my only issue is that I wish he was doing the open challenges on TNT and Willow was doing the open challenges on TBS, because to me that just makes sense. But
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's and for me, it's lazy booking.
creative stays lacking. I feel like in a lot of these companies,
Yeah,
it's just
it's
like
tough to
it's
come up with
easy,
something new.
yeah, especially long term stories. So, and that's why I believe the long term story is him and Speedball.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. But then we get to Will Ospreay's in-ring return, and holy cow, what a match. What a match.
It was tit for tat between the two the entire time. you really didn't know who would win. Like my prediction was Will would win, you know. But I'm like, you really didn't know. You really didn't.
No, and Ace Austin brought the goods. I was very impressed. I mean, we touched on it earlier. He's been asked to go in the ring with a lot of top names, and he has delivered the goods. This match, I can't really put into words the offense that he used, but it was innovative. It was fresh. It was crisp. He looked like he belonged with Will Ospreay in the ring.
Love going
Because
between them ropes. He loved going in between and in
yeah,
the buckle. You're too quick.
and then, like he got a couple of near falls where even I was like looking at the referee like, "What the hell, man? That was 3." And it was just it was a joy to watch. I mean, I knew the ending was going to be some kind of like ground and pound kind of, technical submission kind of finish. Just something different from Will Ospreay than the usual. But him using the cross arm breaker made sense.
He doesn't do submissions like quite often from what
No,
a few server members are saying, and I didn't even realize that, but he doesn't. So it's like, oh, you're right. So I feel like this is him starting to get in that grit. John Moxley pulling it out of him. Keep pulling it out of him. So he's because I think this is me going off of here, but I think what it is, John Mox is like, you have an injury, right? And you have an injury that could potentially get re-aggravated. You have to think of innovative ways to not only protect your body, but still get your opponent. And submissions is a good way. He was focusing on Ace Austin's arm that entire match. And, he used a submission. I think I like AEW because it's not like your blatant stories like in your face, but it's super like when you sit back and you're like, "Oh shit." Like psychologically, this makes sense.
yeah, a
So
lot of
I'm like, I love it. I love it.
yeah, I do too. I think it was the right call to make to have Will win with a submission move and to have it focused on the arm because he targeted the arm during the match. After the match, the Death Riders and the Ops kind of got into it. Joe throwing down the gauntlet.
Joe tried to come out there and get a one up, and he didn't get no one up because the Death Riders came to Will Ospreay's offense and they backed away.
Yeah, they did. They did. So I mean, this whole Death Riders Ops situation with Will Ospreay, I I don't know where we're going with it. It
I don't know either, but it's interesting to see.
yeah, it definitely is. And then
This was
God
your
bless.
favorite. This had to be your favorite match.
I would let Thekla devour my soul. The women's trios match between Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Alex Winder against the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and the Toxic Spider Thekla. It's quickly becoming my favorite part of AEW. Obviously, the match ended in a DQ when Thekla just plain didn't give a fuck and hit Jamie Hayter with the belt. Zero fucks given on Thekla's part. She's like, I'm tired of these dumb bitches. Wham.
Thekla just doesn't care, and I love that. I think Thekla is just being herself. Like, if you've seen her career in like Stardom and in the Indies and things like that, like she's been that way. I
Yeah.
just seen a clip on Twitter. It was her and Blake Monroe back, I want to say in Stardom, I believe. And Blake had said something, and she was like, and she punched her and said, "Shut up!" Like she's always been this way. So like it's like to me, it's this is her character. This is who she's meant to be as a professional wrestler. And I'm sure she's a delight outside of the ring, but she's so freaking entertaining as a heel.
Yes. And I've heard that she's a lot of fun to meet too.
Mhm.
Um, I regret not going to WrestleCon in Vegas and meeting her.
Same
But
actually,
yeah,
but
she's my favorite part of every show now. I mean, I love it when she does promos too and calls her opponents dumb bitches.
she's so classic. And then for our main event, it was the AEW Men's Championship. Darby Allin versus Kanone Suchesca with Don Callis in his corner.
Yes,
Oh,
Konosuke Takeshita
yeah.
really came out of the gate hitting hard. And like I said, How is Darby alive?
Honestly, if anyone could be like, if anyone can pull up a like a upset win, it would be Takeshita, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like he would be the one I'm like, yeah, he can beat him. And honestly, he manhandled the fuck out of Darby Allin.
Yeah,
He was a
yeah.
rag doll.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Darby Allin has to be held together by duct tape and wishes.
Yep,
I mean,
I
because
believe it.
he's getting ragdolled every week. I mean, you talk about Brody King, Talk. Now we've got Konosuke Takeshita. Blah, blah, blah. Say that 10 times fast. Jesus
That's what I'm saying.
Christ.
Like, I have a speech impediment in saying his name fast. I can't. I have to slow down and say his name, honestly.
Yeah, it's tough to say. All I know is that if you move the A around, it can spell take a shit.
That is true. That is true.
But it's not. That is not the what you want to do during a match that he is wrestling in, because
Nah.
this was a very entertaining match, and it looked like Darby was bleeding from his mouth for most of it. Whether that's internal injuries or he cut
That
his
was
tongue.
probably, I feel like he got punched or he got struck so hard by Takeshita that it was just like, ooh, he bit like his tongue or something. He had to.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Is that he bit his tongue, but he needed water afterwards. He let's see, he manhandled him with a massive Beal across the ring and hammered him with knees outside, busted his mouth. Then he set him up for a power driver knee on the steps, but Allen moved and Takeshita crashed. Ouch. And there's all kinds of like little escape artist moves by Darby as well.
They're really
Like,
crafty. I like how when it's a bigger opponent and like a smaller opponent, so even with the Mark Davis and Jack Perry match, they
yeah,
had creative ways to, yes, Takeshita, Mark Davis are big boys, but for their smaller opponent, they're really savvy. I like how
yeah,
they like booked that match. Like it was really good. I liked it a lot.
yeah. Like when Darby was up in a suplex position and he's upside down by being held up by his opponent, and you see his instinctively his knees go to the opponent's head. Stuff like that is just so, it's clever, and
Innovative.
yeah, it just, you don't see it as much. You should, but you don't. But the real high point of this match came when Don Callis, who had accepted Maxwell Jacob Friedman's Dynamite Diamond ring earlier in the evening, Don Callis went to hand that over to Takeshita and told him to use it. And Takeshita just said no and tossed it aside, because he wanted to beat Darby on his own terms, which respect for that. But that eventually cost him, because Darby got to recover. He hit a couple of coffin drops, and before you know it, 1, 2, 3, he's still the champ.
He needed oxygen after that match. I'll tell you that. He needed some help.
Yeah, he did. And the fact that he was able to still do the contract signing immediately after the match was impressive and commendatory.
Yup.
Getting tongue tied tonight.
Yeah, Darby Allin calls MJF to the ring to sign this. If he showed up, then he signed it. Then it's going to be a title versus hair match at Double or Nothing. MJF insults Allen's reign, saying like it's a fluke and this, that, and the third, and blue, blee, blah, and all this other stuff. But I'm like, dude, like Darby Allin is putting on fucking clinics ever since he beaten you for that belt. And he signs a contract. He immediately attacks Darby Allin, who's already bruised and battered from his, main event match. And he takes back his, Dynamite Diamond ring. He stands tall over the champion. He holds the championship. And then I think he was about to do like a top rope move. And
Tombstone.
yes, yes. And Kevin Knight ran down to save him before we went off air. So
Yeah.
I thought that was great. Again, it's showing that sportsmanship from Kevin Knight. Is showing, okay, they value him a lot, and there's a respect amongst them. So I did like the save, and with two we Darby has had 5 title defenses within his reign in 3 weeks.
Last 3 weeks, he's defended the title 5 times, and over the last month and a half, was it? He won the title while we were in Vegas, so it was
About a
it's been
month
4
almost.
weeks.
Yeah,
It's been
about
4
a
weeks.
month. Yeah.
Yeah.
About a month at this point, but 5 title defenses in a month. So that's kind of insane to me.
Huh.
Double or Nothing is looking to be stacked. Even just running down, I just looked up the match card. There's 8 matches right now. You have Okada versus Takeshita. That's for the AEW International Championship. FTR versus, Cope and Cage that's that tag team I quit match for the tag titles. You have the Stadium Stampede. I'm not even going to name all of them. You got you got the whole roster there.
We are.
Yeah, you got Thekla versus, Kabushida. You got Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander,
Oh,
Samoa
that's going
Joe
to be
and
a fun
Will.
match.
I
Yeah.
know that was really going to be good because that's where Chris Statlander won her first title in a 4-way. So I was like, okay, that's really cool. And I believe, yeah, everyone
Everyone in the match has
involved
been a champion.
champion or is champion, but everyone has been champion. So this is going to be great to see. Samoa and Will, Bandito and Swerve, Willow and Alex Windsor, and Darby Allin and MJF. So
Yep.
I'm expecting that there might be, well, who am I kidding? It should be 4 more matches added. So I'm expecting it'll probably be that Kyle O'Reilly and John Moxley match, Divine Dominion match. It'll probably be on 0 Hour and it should be on the main card. And
Oh,
I don't know if it'll be any others. I think there should be 3 women's matches on the main card. Right now we have 2. But Tony Khan, me, Scarlett, Superman, Austin, we were all talking about it last night. And it seems like Mr. Tony Khan likes two women's matches on the card. And I'm like, I don't understand this. Like on the main card. Overall, it'll probably be 3 if you count 0 Hour. But I'm like, some people can't catch 0 Hour depending on if they have the time or if they want to. Some people just tune in for like the actual main card. So I'm like,
right.
just put them on the main card. Like, I don't understand. And we
Yeah,
might
because
get
they're putting out
Big
great
Bang.
matches.
You might get AJ there because it's happening in New York, and I know he's in the area. So you might get Big Boom on the
The Costco boys.
yeah. You might get them on the card, maybe. So we'll see. I'm excited.
We'll see. Yeah, no, I mean, Double or Nothing is shaping up to be a great show, and it's got intrigue and suspense hanging over it with like high stakes stipulations. And yeah, I mean, for the price that they're asking, I might think about paying it.
Tony Khan, he's giving me the best birthday present ever. If that lady come back, that CEO lady come back, that would be the best birthday present ever.
That would definitely be a great birthday present.
See, I was like, if he just hears me, if he can make that happen, buy her jet, just buy her what she wants to come back. I don't know. That would be nice, but no, I'm really excited for the card.
I am too.
The time.
We'll break it down next week on our AEW Double or Nothing preview episode.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, is there anything else you'd like to cover in this episode tonight, Mira?
No, we covered it. Yeah, we talked about the injuries for like the women's bracket, things like that. We talked about like the how the card is shaping up. I think that's everything.
Well then, in that case, we have been Pinfalls Passports. Catch you on the next one.